like every old Ford known to man, the rad supports in the rust belt just kind of whoosh, disappear, don't they, Clay?
What rad support?
What rad support, pretty much. The whole bottom on these trucks basically just dissolves itself. Let me bring you guys in and show you. So right down there is our rusty culvert. And there we go. There's another piece. We actually got pieces right there. But this rad support is toast. Bushings are toast, that kind of stuff. So there's two options basically. There's two options basically you can do to fix a rad support on these old Fords. Either use a old rad support or a new rad support, change the entire thing, or plate and fix the entire bottom on these rad supports. This one's too far gone. The whole bottom's rusted out and everything for us to save. So what we're gonna opt in for is replacing the entire piece. So that's what this video is on. You guys want to learn how to change a rad support on an 87 Ford F-150? Well, look no forward. Look.
Just don't look at this video.
Here we go. Welcome to Hi-O Stable Garage. A couple ways you can go about this. Either you can unbolt the rad support and the whole front end assembly is one go, which we might actually opt out to do and then do it all on the floor, or you can unbolt everything as you go along. We're gonna figure it out. You know what? We're gonna unbolt everything as we go along and pull the rad support at the end. So that's what we're gonna end up doing because we have to transfer all these parts onto the new one. So first off, we gotta separate this fender from this one right here. So you got a couple bolts here, a couple bolts here. It really doesn't matter which ones you take off. We're gonna take off these ones right here and these ones, pull the whole plate off on both sides. Right now, Clay.
We are unbolting the hood from the fenders, and then we're gonna flip it onto the windscreen and crack it.
I'm not gonna crack it, but what he's basically saying is without these hinges here, or these supports, without these hood assists is basically what he's saying is we're gonna flip up the hood because we're unbolting this fender and stuff for a different project, but it's also gonna help doing the rad support. It's not a big deal. But we're undoing that, and then we're just gonna simply strap it off the mirror on the driver's side. So we opted to take the battery tray out completely just because we couldn't get this bolt here on the bottom. It was super rounded, super rusty, so we can take this off later on. But now we can get at the light assembly a lot better. Let's curve you in there. This is what we got going on now that the battery tray and battery is all completely gone. Flip you guys around. So we got bolts down here. This holds basically, there's two plates that bolt onto this rad support. So we might opt to take these off right now, but really we got to take the headlight bucket out. We got two 10s, one there, there's another one right there. You can kind of see them. Come on now, get out of the way, right there. So we take both of those out, and then we got some 10s here and that stuff. We should be able to pull this whole assembly out, unhook your lights as you go. So let's start doing that. I forgot to tell you, I'm just tearing this whole thing apart and then I'm not putting anything back on.
That's all right. I'll just steal your truck.
It's all right. None of them run anyway. All right, so when it comes to the rad support, this is what you got underneath your headlight bucket. It's a lot different from an 86 and a lot different from an arrow nose truck. But kind of the same principles. You got two 8 mils down here, 5/16 will take these ones off. I know. Then you got these ones, but this is for a separate panel attached to your rad support. So I need to take that off, but Clay, he's taking this fender off. He only has to take off these two little tiny bolts down there after I take those ones off. And this whole fender is going to pull apart afterwards because he did all the other bolts along the way. This is what we got going on there. This guy's completely disassembled. You can take the rad support out with this plate on if you took the inner fender off, but we're going to elect to take these off. It's going to make his job a lot easier so we can keep going along. So I'm going to take this plate off here, and then this guy should be pretty much stripped down on the corners minus the bolt. All right, so taking a look, pretty much we got everything off the rad support that holds it minus the bolt. So we just got to recreate that on that side, but I just want to show you There's nothing else holding this guy on. So we're just going to recreate the exact same thing on this side. Got to take the washer fluid tank off, a little bracket here, but then vice versa, it's the same thing. Headlight bucket, piece on the side, take that out, and then we can deal with this red and the transcooler, all that stuff. That we can pretty much unbolt it from the bottom, but we got all this extra stuff on. Basically our coolant, our AC system, and then just the odd trinket here and there, like our hood latch, cable, couple hoses, that kind of stuff. But in reality, the only thing holding it into the truck hardcore are the two mounts, and I'm pretty sure I can just lift the entire thing after. I don't even think I got to undo those because they're so rotten. So what we're going to do, I'm going to undo the shroud, undo the rad. The rads are really easy. You got two bolts, one bolt here, one bolt there, and you just kind of lift up and out on the Ford system. And then I got a couple coolers on the front that I got to undo, that kind of stuff. So I'll prop you guys up and bottom. It's the only one holding it in now, and it's stubborn enough that it's not just going to come out, and I guarantee that nut's not going to come off. So I'm just going to elect to zing that guy out right now with the angle grinder, pull the whole thing out, and then we'll just clean up the ends and check the damage. There we go, we got it out. It's actually not the worst one I've ever seen. Usually this whole elbow section's gone. We had to rebuild that on the blue truck. And we also had to rebuild one side on our race truck. This one, basically just around the mounts was rotten. Right here and right there, the one we had to cut out just a little bit. Thin, 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 just about to go, but basically done. The real issue was truck set. This right here is supposed to be a lot smaller than that. You're talking just a little tiny hole. She's pooched. Well, this right here, we're not even going to throw away. All we're going to do is weld a big washer around it. Easy fix to these old Ford trucks. A big washer, you put that there. The ID hole on the washer is the exact same size for the mount, which is awesome. So I'm just going to cut away this guy right here because that mount's going to need to be fixed as well. And then we'll go get the new rad. So we got the mounts all off, which is good. This one actually didn't turn out too bad. The octagon's still there, which is pretty awesome. This one, however, she bad. She bad, she bad, she bad. This is a 1-inch washer, 1-inch ID washer. And as you can see, I can almost pull it right through. Good enough, though, because the steel here is still okay. But the idea is I'm just going to weld around that. It's going to repair that guy right up. It might not be an octagon, or sorry, a hexagon. Might not be a hexagon in the middle, but that's okay because we're just going to use a ready rod anyway or a big bolt, so no issues there. So let me grab the welder, I'll Zeus that guy in, and then we can keep on rocking. Go. Got it all Zeused in there. So now we got a mount again. So now we can start transferring all the old stuff onto the new rad sport. so we got most of the parts over on this one from our old one. We still have a couple parts over there that we got to throw on. But now we're at the point that we can actually start to kind of mount this guy up on top of the truck. All right, so we got the rad support in. It's just kind of sitting there right now. What we're going to do now, we're going to attach the radiator, 2 bolts at the top. It's already lined up. We're going to slide our big bolts in through the mounts just to hold her in there. And then we can kind of start attaching like our fenders and all that stuff. But first, we're going to do the radiator, the main bolts, and then just some little tiny associated stuff all throughout. But I'll see you guys on the big pieces. So you likely just saw I had to clearance this section right here. It's an aftermarket rad support. Part number is, who makes it? Doesn't even say. Oh, Auto Power. It's not an exact fit. As you can see, down here, they had way too much steel, and it was rubbing on the plastic tank. You would have went maybe 50 miles, and your tank on your radiator would have been blown out. Not good. So we clearance that out. Now we should be able to install that radiator just fine. So, note to self, when you're putting in the radiator, the AC condenser has to be in front of it, and you have to do it before you put in the radiator. So that's why we had to backpedal a little bit. But AC condenser is in, I just got to hook up the lines. That's easy peasy. Now we're going to run the transcooler lines through the hole over and over and attach our transcooler. All right, so we got that piece in. It's just this old cover piece. This connects the rad support to that. We also elected to put this top piece in. Now we're going to struggle on with this light. We're going to bring you along to the light, and then we got that whole other section to do. So, no time like the present. Let's struggle, because this one was kind of fun, because this guy's bent in. But we're not doing any body work on this. That would be crazy. It's not completely in, but we're still kind of doing a little bit of work on the exhaust manifold on this side, so this side's going to have to wait. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's the exact same as I showed you on the left side, the driver's side, for the rest of it, and then you just have your grill section. That's pretty much it for the rad support. Everything else is in, everything else is hunky-dory. I'll catch you guys in the next one, maybe on this truck, maybe on another thing, who knows. See you guys later.